can!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Hi, you're watching First Sports. I'm Joshua Barnes. Let's get started. On the show today, England cricket faces a growing concern. While Bazball continues to be backed, cracks are beginning to show within the system. Out-of-favour stars Jonny Bairstow and Liam Livingstone have raised serious questions, accusing the setup of neglecting players once they're out the team. And there's more trouble. Former captain Michael Vaughan has taken a direct dig at coach Brendon McCullum, questioning his seriousness towards the role. Meanwhile, in chess, the FIDE Candidates Tournament in Cyprus has been thrown into controversy. India's Koneru Humpy has pulled out over safety concerns, only for her decision to be questioned by officials, which raises a big question. Are athletes still free to make personal choices, or are they being pushed by the system? All that and more, but first, the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with football, the Asian Cup draw for the 2027 event has been postponed to a later date. This due to the rising West Asia tensions. The draw was scheduled to take place on the 11th of April in Riyadh. Meanwhile, Manchester City's superstar Erling Haaland has donated a rare Viking book to the town he grew up in. The 1,594-page book carries medieval stories of Viking kings, queens and farmers, as well as warriors. It is believed to be the only surviving copy. Haaland originally bought it for $133,000. Moving to cricket and the Indian Premier League, Kolkata-based franchise KKR has retired their jersey number 12 worn by Andre Russell. The West Indies cricketer announced his retirement from the IPL last year. Russell played 11 seasons with Kolkata and won 2 league titles in that period. In tennis, world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka has cruised into the Miami Open semi-finals. The Belarusian beat Hailey Batiste in straight sets. She will now face Elena Rybakina, who beat Jessica Pegula in a grueling 2-6, 6-3, 6-4 quarter-final clash. And summing it up with basketball, the NBA is taking a major step towards expansion. The league's Board of Governors approved the decision to explore the addition of new franchises in Las Vegas and Seattle. A final decision will come at the end of the 2026 season. England cricket's Bazball revolution was supposed to change everything. Fearless cricket, relentless aggression, no fear of failure. Attack with the bat, dominate with the ball, and play on your own terms. But now, it seems like England aren't just playing Bazball on the field, they might be living it inside the dressing room too. Fast, ruthless, and according to some, completely unforgiving. Because 2 players who've been part of this setup have just blown the lid off what's happening behind the scenes. And the allegations, they're serious. Lack of communication, players being sidelined without clarity, and a system that only values you as long as you're inside of it. And that raises a big question. Is this culture the real reason behind England's recent struggles? English cricket is not in a good place right now. For a team that calls itself the inventors of the game, the last few years have been nothing short of chaotic. Early exits from ICC tournaments, inconsistent bilateral performances, and then the Ashes disaster in Australia. A series that had more controversy than actual cricket. The aggressive approach of Ben Stokes was questioned. The methods of coach Brendon McCullum came under fire. And yet, despite all of this, the message from the management was clear. The Bazball era will continue. Now, that might work. England might still turn things around, but here's the bigger concern. What's happening to the ecosystem of this team? Because now, troubling voices are emerging from within. Out-of-favour players like Jonny Bairstow and Liam Livingstone have openly criticised the system. That is a brutal indictment, because in team sports, especially at the international level, player management is everything. Not everyone makes the team, and even those who do won't stay there forever. That's the reality. Look at India. Even someone like Shubman Gill, a captain in tests and ODIs, isn't part of the T20 setup. And that's normal, across countries, across formats. But what matters is communication, clarity, and above all, respect. Tell players where they stand, tell them what they need to do to improve, keep them in the loop. Because when players feel disconnected, the system starts breaking. And right now, that's exactly what England looks like. And it gets worse. While teams like India and Australia carefully manage workloads, England seems to be pushing players to the absolute edge.
I feel for people like Woody. I feel massively for him. He bowls at 95 miles per hour and is expected to just come in, having not come off the back of any overs. There is no wonder he has been injured.
And this is not just about one player. It's about a pattern. Injuries piling up, players burning out, and no clear system to protect them. And then comes perhaps the most shocking claim of all, that the head coach isn't even fully present.
Brendon should be here watching county cricket to rebuild bridges. Instead, he is having a Zoom call with the county directors, and I'm staggered he is not arriving in England until May 30th, when the first test against New Zealand starts at Lord's on June 4th.
And that's a serious concern, because being a national coach isn't a part-time role. It's not just about match days, especially for someone like Brendon McCullum, because he has gone from being a single format coach to now leading England's entire cricket setup. At such times, he needs to be stepping up rather than turning away from the team. And not saying he needs to start implementing drastic measures. At this level, players already know how to play cricket. They don't need coaching basics. What they need is guidance, connection, management. That's the real job. And you can't do that while sitting on a Zoom call miles away. Let's also not forget the role of Rob Key, the man who architected this entire Bazball era, because ultimately this culture flows from the very top. And right now, that culture is being questioned, not by outsiders, but by their own players. So where does this leave England? On one hand, they have a bold philosophy, an exciting brand of cricket, and the belief that aggression will bring results. But on the other hand, they have unhappy players, injury concerns, and a system that might be alienating its own talent pool. And that's dangerous, because cricket today isn't just about your playing 11. It's about your bench strength, your pipeline, your system. Ignore that and success becomes temporary. Bazball might win you matches, but culture wins you championships. And right now, England need to decide. Do they want to just entertain, or do they actually want to build something sustainable? Because if these cracks continue to grow, Bazball won't just be questioned, it might completely fall apart. Another day, another sporting event hit by global conflict. Because as tensions continue to rise in West Asia, it is the athletes paying the price. The prestigious chess event, the Candidates Tournament in Cyprus, is now at the centre of a controversy. And at the heart of it is one name, Indian Grandmaster Koneru Humpy, a two-time world rapid champion, India's top-ranked female player, and a genuine contender for the world title. She has pulled out because of safety concerns. And what should have been respected as a personal decision has now been turned into a full-blown debate, because instead of understanding her call, the organisers have chosen to question it, which raises another serious question. Are athletes being forced to choose between their careers and their safety? The global sporting calendar right now is anything but stable. Ever since tensions escalated between the United States, Israel and Iran, events have been postponed, relocated or cancelled altogether. And chess, despite being a non-contact sport, is not immune. The Candidates Tournament in Cyprus was already under scrutiny because of one simple reason: location. Cyprus sits in a geopolitically sensitive region, close enough to feel the ripple effects of any escalation. And things weren't exactly calm. Turkey had already issued warnings to the Greek Cypriot administration, cautioning against turning the island into a potential target amid the ongoing tensions. That's not background noise. That's a serious security signal. And if that wasn't enough, major events were already being impacted. The World Series of Poker event in Cyprus was cancelled. So when Humpy made her decision, it was out of awareness, out of responsibility. And let's be clear, this was not an easy call. Humpy is currently among the world's elite. This tournament was a gateway, a shot at the World Championship. Walking away from that is not hesitation, it's sacrifice. But here's where things get uncomfortable. Instead of backing her, the reaction from the system has been far from supportive. FIDE, the governing body of chess, has maintained that everything is under control. And the Cyprus Chess Federation chief has openly criticised her decision. And that's exactly where the debate shifts, because now it's not just about one player, it's about principle. Can an organisation, sitting far away from the risks, decide what level of danger is acceptable for an athlete? Or worse, can they pressure players into participating? Because Humpy was being pushed for a quick confirmation, a deadline and the threat of replacement looming. She even requested more time. Time to assess, time to think, time to prioritise. Just imagine the mental battle she had to endure.
My years of hard work, dedication and training have gone in vain. This was a hard decision, but I kept waiting for the tournament to be rescheduled, and when that didn't happen, I had to make the right choice.
Now think about this. Travel to Cyprus right now is not straightforward. Flight routes are uncertain, regional airspace dynamics are constantly changing. And in situations like these, things don't escalate gradually. They change overnight. Yes, conflict zones are fluid. Yes, situations improve and worsen daily. But when Humpy was asked to make her decision, the situation was unpredictable. So what exactly was she supposed to do? Ignore the risks, take a gamble, hope for the best? This is where sport needs to draw a line. Athletes are not assets. They are individuals, with families, with responsibilities, with a right to say no. And that right should never, ever be questioned.
The last few days have been mentally tiring. I have received messages from the tournament organizers, doctors and officials. They have been sending me their support, even backing my decision to withdraw. I have decided to move past this phase and get back to my routine.
Well, that tells you everything. This wasn't just a professional decision. It was an emotional one, a mental strain, a personal battle. And here is the bottom line. Koneru Humpy did not step away from the game. She made the strongest move on the board according to the situation. Isn't that what chess is all about? Assess the threat and make a move accordingly. So why question it? And time for our last serve. Football icon Lionel Messi has returned to Argentina. The Inter Miami star is now gearing up for a friendly clash against Mauritania. With the FIFA World Cup on the horizon and the hunger to defend his title, Messi is leaving no stone unturned in training. Focused, sharp and as driven as ever. Let's take a look. Well, that's all we have on the show for today. We'll see you again tomorrow at the same time. Thank you for watching.